Everybody, welcome to another edition of Box Seats. This is a show where we talk about sports with comedians. Thank you all for joining the show. We got a lot to talk about this weekend. A lot has happened. A lot has happened in the sports world. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. So let's jump right into it. First up, let me bring my man, Mr. Mike Sean, in the building. Haven't seen him in a very long time. Mr. Mike Sean, how you been, sir? How's everything?
Everything's excellent. What's going on there? Is that
Yeah.
last time I saw you ain't had a beard, did you?
No, I didn't have the beard, man.
Okay. It's all right. All
Nah,
right.
I was doing the beard. I copied a couple of people, so you know. Last time I saw you, you didn't have long hair, so things have changed.
Yeah. All right. Evolution. All right.
There it
All
is.
right. All right. Let's go.
My man, Mr. Rodney Perry's in the building too. Rodney Perry, how you doing, bro? How's
Uncle
everything?
Rodney.
What's up,
Uncle
gentlemen?
Rodney's in the building.
And calm is cool and collected as always, man. I guess we're gonna wait a few minutes till Dave comes in. I'm sure Dave can't wait to get in here and talk about his Philadelphia Eagles. But first things first, let's jump in and talk about the biggest game of the weekend. If you ask me, I don't care. I know what he says. I don't care how they shape it up. I was really looking forward to the Buffalo Bills and the Baltimore Ravens game. And Mike, Sean, give me your first big takeaway from that game. And obviously we'll talk about the game overall. But what's your biggest takeaway from that game, Mike?
Life be lifing. Football be footballing. Like things when you got the weather and you got turnovers. You subtract the turnovers, the Ravens are probably moving on to play the Kansas City Chiefs. But when things happen, when you put them turnovers to put you in a situation where you need that 2-point conversion at the end of the game, when Derrick Henry decides, and I love Derrick had a tremendous season, but when you drop in open passes against Buffalo in a crucial playoff game, and then Mark Andrews decides he wants to drop passes and fumble, and then Lamar tries to play superhero, which, hey, that's what he's done all year. When you put them turnovers, all Josh Allen then has to do is throw for 130 yards. He ain't got to play Superman. And that's what it boils down. That's what the Eagles are doing. That's what Kansas City's doing. That's what Buffalo. These teams have decided what we're going to do is make sure the fundamentals of this. We don't turn the ball over. We don't need to be any penalties. We don't need to be behind the sticks. Play the game conservatively. That's what they're really doing. Everybody's talking about this high-flying football. That's not what they're doing.
Right.
It's first downs and stay ahead of those and set ahead of the sticks. Pause. But I was heartbroken for Lamar because Lamar, he did what he was supposed to do. He had his moment on that last drive. That was one of them signature drives you're supposed to have that people talk about. He came down 70-something yards with so-and-so amount of minutes to tie it, and then the 2-point conversion happened. But football be footballing.
Rodney Perry, what's your biggest takeaway from the game? Like, before we dive into the game, what's your biggest takeaway from the game?
I mean, I sat there and I watched the game in Baltimore with Baltimore fans, and man, it's like Mike said, it was definitely a tell of turnovers. You talk about a guy that ain't turned the ball over all season, no picks, and again, the weather played a factor, and man, I'm so sad for Baltimore, man. They really deserved. It's a city that deserved a chance, a shot more than anybody else, and they get it done this year. I think they're gonna take the whole team apart now. We'll see.
Ooh, he thinks they're gonna take a team apart. My man Dave, the business bully, has joined the building. He joined the show in the building. I know he's happy. I know he got his Eagles stuff on. We're gonna get to the Eagles in a second. But what's your biggest takeaway before I dive into the game about Lamar Jackson? And what's your biggest takeaway when you cut off the TV from the Buffalo Bills Baltimore Ravens game? What was your biggest takeaway?
Frank, this all comes down to one particular word: unity. And like my good friend Rodney Perry says, the fact that he was there in Baltimore, seeing those folks, feeling that pain collectively, when you're just so close, but yet so far, it just tells you that there's a spirit in that city that, aligns with wanting things to be better, but maybe not having their priorities in the right place. Because, I mean, if they did something as simple as, I don't know, fix the fact that nobody in Baltimore is reading at grade level as much as they cared about this team loss.
Here we go.
I'm just saying, like, just maybe
so
something would happen. No, you know what's disrespectful? The Jane went up the hill.
Here we go.
But no, phenomenal game. It was just a matter of too many turnovers, a lot of simple mistakes that don't happen normally, but a lot of people will get to a certain point and then they can't handle the pressure. And this is textbook of that.
Okay, so I'm gonna get ready to ask each of you all some different questions about the game because I'm gonna keep this thing rolling. I'm gonna keep this thing exciting. Mike Sean, is Lamar Jackson, even though he's the MVP, he's about to be the MVP of the league and everything else, is he the one that gets the blame of this game, even though he still got them in the game, even though he had 2 turnovers? You know, is he the one who's to blame of the, you know, of the loss?
Look, we do shows like this, and shows like this are on TV all the time, and we got to figure out somebody who to put the blame. It's a team win, it's a team loss,
right?
Like there's so many different compartments that have to work correctly in order for you to win a game. That's why every NFL coach will tell you it's so hard to win one football game, because then you have to deal with the aspects of things that you didn't plan for happening. No, he doesn't take the blame for this. Does he take the blame for that interception? Of course he does. But we will never know who made the mistake. Was it just the throw? Was it the receiver giving up on the pass when he stopped running? Did he read it right? Was it the right route? We'll never know the inside, and they're not supposed to tell us stuff like that. But I'll give him this. I'll give him this to Lamar Jackson. He did act like a leader when he sat there and said, "We're not going to blame Mark Andrews for this loss." He said, "This guy has been there for us the entire season when he made the great plays." And I like the fact that he stood up there and didn't fall for the bait. He made it very clear we're not going to blame. He didn't if the game. He didn't say, you know, we got to just, you know, we got to do better next time or something where he could have scapegoated him. He stood up. He stood for his players. And I think a lot of players will look at that and be like, look, he stood up for us. And, you know, that doesn't mean anything right now, but it does mean something in the long run when you're the team leader.
Okay, so Rodney Perry, you heard everything that he just said because everybody's saying that on Talk Radio and everything else and Talk TV and everything else. My thought was, is anybody going to blame Jim Harbaugh? Jim Harbaugh only called 15 plays for Derrick Henry. And in the third quarter, they were running the ball. They were running rampant all over. The Bills couldn't stop them. But then when you looked at the total, they only ran 16 plays for Derrick Henry. You know what I mean? It's only 16 plays. They could have continued to run the ball. And when they were running the ball, they came back and tied that game, in my opinion. So is anybody going to blame Jim Harbaugh? Anybody?
I will. I blame Jim Harbaugh. I blame the coach. I blame the coach. And if anybody getting out of there, it's gonna be him. If anybody getting out of Baltimore, it's gonna be Jim Harbaugh. And don't get me wrong, we love the guy. The guy's been doing a great job. They got there. They had a great season. But you know, I think that he could have been way more aggressive. I would have ran that ball down there for the 2-point conversion with my guy, the biggest back in the league, and he's having a great night. You run your guy. And don't get me wrong, Andrews is another one of your guys. And he should have caught the ball. But why you spreading your quarterback out to get hit or get hurt? Why is he that guy? But then the flip side of that is you put the ball in your quarterback's hand to make something happen. You know, don't take it out of his hand. So, I mean, we see that happen all the time. We saw it happen in Seattle many years ago, and we saw it last night. They should have ran a Henry man. And Harbaugh will be getting the fuck out of there.
Okay, and Rodney, here's the crazy part. Let me just add.
Just fired him.
They didn't even call any plays for Lamar Jackson to run the ball the entire game. The week before, he had like 20 plays to run.
Yeah, they called some run plays for him, and like that first pick, dude, don't even get me started. I feel like NFL be point shaving. You know, because you throw a pick, ain't nobody on your team even in the area. You drop a wide open ball, Derrick Henry, wide open. Only one to get the point shave memory was likely. He didn't get the memo.
Okay.
All right. Keep this sucker close.
He ain't check his email. He ain't check the email.
He ain't check his email.
He'll be, you know.
Let me ask the Eagles fan right now, you know, of everything that's going on. Dave.
Yes, sir.
Obviously, everybody this morning is blaming Lamar Jackson. They're gonna blame Mark Andrews. He's gonna get some blame and everything else. I'm blaming the coach because the coach calls the plays and everything else. You know what I mean? That's what I'm gonna blame. Who are you gonna blame, or is it a collective blunt? You know, collective.
A collective blunt. Frank, are you high?
No, I'm not. But
just checking. Just checking. No, okay. My thing is this, man. We need to start blaming R&B, right? We have seen this over and over and over again. There's only two people that get blamed when things go bad in the group. It's usually either the manager or the lead singer, right? So whoever your superstar is usually gets blamed. David Ruffin got blamed. Bobby Brown got blamed. El DeBarge got blamed. My thing is, in this particular case,
you blame R&B. You blame R&B
because it's the same playbook. It's the same playbook, Uncle Rodney. You can't tell me there's much of a difference between Lamar Jackson and Omarion. B2K would still be here if Omarion would just stop effing dancing. This is the same situation. Now, when you look at Chris Stokes, who managed B2K, horrible coach. Horrible coach. It's the same thing with Harbaugh. Horrible. I need to be a cheerleader. Listen.
When Chris Stokes did it in them boys, though?
He was Stokes. He was Stokes and stroking them boys. He's the predecessor.
Here we go.
It's a
fact. Dave's on fire. Dave done took it to R&B. He started with reading comprehension. How did it? This is amazing.
Dave,
I love the reach. I love the reach.
This is good work.
I'm a businessman.
I'm loving it too because Dave always brings something out of everybody special. Speaking of bringing out,
but real quick, when we blame the coach, it's and I get what y'all saying, but when somebody gives you a play and it works. And all you had to do, and it worked.
The play worked.
It's like if Rodney said, Mike, I got this joke for you, right? And I wrote it for you. And he writes it for me. The setup works. All the ad-libs work that he gave me. He said, then you're going to add this, then you're going to add that. And all I got to do is hit the punch. They already laughing. Everybody's laughing. And I don't do the punchline. That's not on Rodney. That's not on.
I mean, Lamar Jackson drove down the field in what 25 seconds. What a clutch performance, man! All he needed was a 2-point conversion, dude. Goodness gracious.
Yep. I'm trying to tell you. All right, so let me talk about the Philadelphia Eagles game now because I can't wait to see Dave act up because Dave's gonna act up on this one, Mike. He's gonna. But here's the thing about the Philadelphia Eagles game, Mike. And before I give it to you. The Philadelphia Eagles scare me, bro. And I know the Eagles fan here, he's going to be happy about that. They scared me on how they handled the game with the Rams because if that was on regular indoor, they would have lost that game. You know what I mean? They would have lost that game. So they scared me. What's your takeaway coming away from the Rams as they lost to the Eagles? What was your immediate takeaway?
Number one, I am not an Eagle fan, but I'm coming very close to supporting this team because of Saquon Barkley.
Right.
And I'm coming close because when I saw AJ Brown pull up to the stadium with an $80 million contract or $90 million contract in a Honda Accord.
Right.
That man right there showed me something.
Right.
That man set an example for everybody that your car.
He showed you how cheap he is. Cheap bastard.
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm talking about. That man, his snow car was a Honda Accord. I love the fact that he did that. Listen, man, I'm not worried about the Eagles. The Eagles have a plan. What I will say, the thing that frustrates me about the Eagles is that there are certain, not including Dave, that has nothing to do with him. Philadelphia fans deserve nothing. Y'all are the most ungrateful MFers in the history of the world. This guy has won you 16 games. He got you in the NFC Championship. He's already taken you to a Super Bowl where he outplayed Patrick Mahomes. And the day after, all y'all do is call radio stations talking about he's the weak link. He's the problem with the team.
Really?
He needs to step.
They did that? They did that?
On both sports stations. They are going ballistic. Listen, man, the Eagles have this game plan where they do this. We're going to pick you apart. We're going to hold the ball. We are not going to, Jalen is not going to turn. He's not going to throw any interceptions. They're in his head. They're going to take possessions from you. And then when they shorten the game, you now have to score against one of the best defenses in football. It's brilliant. Even when they don't score, they hold the ball for like 5 minutes.
Actually, about 8, but you're right. Yeah.
Like they're a brilliant team. The only problem is, and I will say this and admit it, if the Commanders score 30 points and Saquon is taken out the game, and this is all about Jalen, then it could be a problem.
Mm-hmm.
Then it could be a problem.
You heard his take on that, Rodney Perry. What was your take on the Eagles to the Rams? Because I just kept the whole weekend, I was like, the teams that were winning and had the momentum to win all lost. You know what I mean? So I'm over here like I don't even know how the Eagles won that game, but that was my takeaway. What's your takeaway from the Rams losing?
When in doubt, bet on black. You understand me?
Okay.
When in doubt, bet on black. Let me tell you something. The Eagles QB is the real deal. People that didn't believe need to believe. He's clutch. He's an awesome QB, and we're just seeing it. And let's not even get into Saquon Barkley.
But he's
Saquon
hurt though,
Barkley,
right, Rodney? And isn't Jalen hurt?
he did come up limping. He did come up limping. But how about this? Is what he said? He said, "Dog, I finished the game." And you got to respect that. We've seen our best historic quarterbacks stand up in tough situations, gimpy. So going forward, I don't know what can happen, but he won the game. You getting mad at Saquon Barkley with the big breaking it, and what a game. Well done, Philly, man. Way to get it done. I thought Baltimore would get it done. They didn't.
Yeah, I thought so too. I'm a little disappointed in that. Dave, I know you have some great takeaways, but I also know you lost about 5 pounds in the last 3 minutes of the game. But that's okay. Go ahead, Dave.
First of all, these constant and annoying references to my massive, impressive, once-in-a-lifetime level of weight loss will no longer be tolerated. That's point number one.
What you looking at? What you looking at?
Oh, I'm just looking away from the hater on the screen who happens to be light-skinned and has been waiting for this moment all weekend because I was lighting his phone up like a Christmas tree.
He was.
Now, there's something I want to address because Michael, Sean, and Uncle Rodney made phenomenal points. And this is the one thing. See, Frank, you guys keep forgetting I'm a businessman. So let's look at the numbers. 78% of former NFL players wind up broke within 3 years of retirement. The average NFL career is 3.35 years.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know the main reason why most of them wind up broke? It's a concept called lifestyle inflation, Frank. In other words, they act like they balling all the time because they're balling right now. Right. Then, of course, they've got horrible financial decisions because the NFL Players Association isn't doing much when it comes to financial literacy. Then on top of that, they're trying to take everybody out the hood. You can't support everybody, Frank. But here's the thing that I do know. What Michael Sean said is absolutely right. But the reason that he did not include me in that, and Michael Sean has known me since I was 17 and 1/2 years old, is because he knows I'm not Johnny Gill. That's right. I'm bringing you back to R&B, Frank, because the Philadelphia Eagles fans are fair weather like John. I don't be no fair weather thing. They're fair weather. You can have one of the most phenomenal quarterbacks to ever lace up a pair of cleats and an absolute record-setting freight train of a player. And these were, Lenny Ciccolone from South Philly here. I just want to say, you know what? We got to get rid of this guy. This guy's stinking up the joint. There's never enough. But here's what I want you to understand, Frank Holder, and I want you to hear me clearly. For as long as you're breathing what you like to call air, a win is a win. A win is a win.
A win is a win.
There's only one set of birds that won yesterday.
A win is a win, Dave. A win is a win. But
there's only one set of birds that won.
Wow.
Mike, if the Eagles lose, the Philadelphia fans panic and get ready to fire. What's his name? Nick Sirianni. Do they fire him?
They don't want him now. They don't. This is what I'm talking about. This city deserves nothing.
Mm-hmm.
They deserve nothing. Like, they don't want this coach now. They believe that this coach is just somebody who sits on the sidelines. He's not a defensive coach. He's not part of the defense. He's not part of the offense. He's just somebody who stands around and he doesn't CEO anything. He doesn't go to meetings. No, he just shows up and just chills. I promise you, this city will implode if the Commanders come in here and beat the Eagles, which could happen because that young man with the Commanders is having one of the best rookie seasons I've seen since Patrick Mahomes' rookie season. And before that, Dan Marino's rookie season. Like, he's on another level. So let's just say they would happen to lose against this guy. They're not losing to a team. They will blame the coaching. They will blame Jalen Hurts. They will want vast remodeling of the whole organization. They'll ask for the general manager's head. They'll go all the way in trying to figure out how this could possibly happen. And I'm telling you, this is not going to be an easy game for them to beat them. Both games they played against them were one game. Jaden had like broken ribs that he played and still had a pretty good game. The last game, Jalen Hurts gets hurt, but that didn't affect the defense. He don't play defense, and that kid still ran up and down the field on that defense. It's going to be a tough game out here. I'm looking forward to. I'm glad I got no pressure because my team's going to suck for the next 5 years. So right now, I just sit around and I watch everything. It didn't even hurt me when Baltimore lost. I was like, tough break. Tough break.
Because it was a tough break.
It
was a tough break. Rodney Perry, how are you feeling right now about Saquon Barkley right now? Because honestly, I feel really good for that young brother, man. Like he's shining. He's shining.
Yo, he's shining, man. And how about this? The guy's even getting a little more handsome, man. He started the game off a little half ugly, and by the end of the game, he was a great looking guy. I was like, yo, Saquon Barkley is almost handsome. And that goes to show you that's when you're doing well, everything you do looks good. And shouts out to Saquon, shouts out to Philadelphia, like Mike Sean said. How about this? Philly booed Santa Claus.
Yeah, they did.
Niggas don't give a damn. I'm in a group chat with some comedians that talk off for sports all the time, and they from Philly and they still hate the team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that
yeah, they do.
It drives me nuts, bro. It drives me nuts. But I'm gonna let you wrap this up. I'm gonna let you wrap this up and just ask you this one last question. Do you think right now that Saquon Barkley's addition and the offensive line of the Philadelphia Eagles can carry them despite they haven't not throwing the ball? You think they can carry them to just by running the ball? You think they can carry them to the Super Bowl? Because they haven't thrown. They're not really throwing the ball. You got Devontae Adams. They're not. What's his name? Devontae. They're not throwing the ball.
AJ Brown.
Devontae Smith. They're not throwing them the ball. So you think they can carry them to the Super Bowl like this?
Frankly, Frank, anything is possible. And point of contention. When we talk about this, Philadelphia boo Santa Claus, that's absolutely not factual. We did not boo Santa Claus. We took snowballs, put rocks in them, and threw them at Santa Claus's head in Veterans Stadium. And that's why they built a jail in the stadium. That's why every last Philadelphia stadium has a holding cell in it. I mean, just put some respect on our names. Now, when it comes to Saquon Barkley, be clear, Philadelphia has not been more excited about a Barkley since another Barkley was running around taking two white women out of the bar every night. So this is a really good time to be a Philadelphia fan. Will this be an easy win? No, but it will be a win. Just like on Friday, I predicted that somebody was going to get hurt. How's Fist doing? Oh, yeah, that's right. I know you don't have my clips for me because apparently nobody had time to pull the clip because I said it was going to happen. And I also said the Eagles were going to win. But it's okay. I promise. I have no reason to gloat at all. I'm sorry. This is an old chair. I got to get a new one. My gamer chairs, but I just had to adjust myself. I apologize. I'm so unprofessional. But please, let's continue on with the show. We don't want to hold the momentum. Let's keep it pushing.
Dave kills me. Dave kills me. All right, Mike, let's talk about the next game. The Washington Commanders had a great game. Now, honestly, I didn't expect that what I saw against the Detroit Lions. Give me your assessment about the Lions obviously beating the Commanders. And tell me your thoughts on this. Jaden Daniels literally has the ability to get to the Super Bowl before Lamar Jackson. Nobody even talk about that. Like, that's crazy. This dude is a rookie, and in his first year, unlike Patrick Mahomes, his first year, he didn't play at all. He sat on the bench. Dan Marino, he had a great rookie season. You go down the list. Tom Brady, he didn't play his rookie year either. He sat on the bench. Like guys didn't, they didn't come in like Jaden Daniels is coming in. This dude is on fire. What's your take on this? What's going on right now?
I mean, they had a lot of injuries on defense. It finally caught up to them. But I will say there's a syndrome that happened, and it's happened to me. It takes a long time to shake off being a loser. It takes a long time.
Jesus.
No, I'm serious. It took a long time for me to stop being broke and doing broke shit. Like, it took a long time for me to shake it off. And I would buy tickets for sporting events, and I could afford to be up front, but I'm like, nah, I think I'm going to just be up here. Nah, it takes a long time for you to stop. When is Detroit? When's the last time Detroit won something? Since Rasheed Wallace was on the Pistons? Like,
yeah, long time ago.
Like it's been a long time. And they allowed these dudes to come in, they got hyped up. And who decided it's okay to let LiAngelo Ball do his song at the state? Like, who? That's losing shit. Like, what? Why? You got Eminem sitting, and you got LiAngelo. Come on. Like, you gotta come in not with the arrogance. You gotta come in with business as usual. You gotta walk in there going, this is just a step to the Super Bowl championship. They came in here swagged out as if this was the NFC championship game. This is just the second round of the playoffs.
Yeah.
You see Kansas City, how they walk in. Kansas City walks in on some okay, we good. Let's play the game. Go ahead, flip. Go ahead.
Wow.
Y'all take the ball first. Go ahead. Y'all take that. Y'all good. There was too much excitement. There was too much like, God, we're here. And it just showed in the coaching. It showed in the plays that weren't made. And they did have injuries, but y'all get blown out.
Yeah, blown out.
Y'all get blown out at home. Y'all don't deserve another home game. I don't care if y'all win 25 games next year. Y'all don't deserve a home game. Y'all should be on the road. Y'all don't deserve to host nothing.
Well, Mike, they're not going to win 25 games next year. I don't even think they're going to get close because guess what? Ben Johnson, their OC coordinator, about 5 minutes ago, got hired to be the Bears head coach. But yeah, that's another topic for another day. So is the windows for the Lions now shrinking, Rodney Perry? Or did they?
No, their upside is still really high up. They're still a good team, but I must agree with Mike Sean. It takes a lot. Organizations matter. Like the way people, the idea, the psychology of an organization matters. All right, so let's look at it, man. They were in the game. The game was very close, and then I go to boo boo. By the time I get back, they down by 20 points. What the? Yo, dude, I know what I shouldn't eat the hamburger, man. It really upset my stomach. But I say all this to say this: that the whole thing, Detroit is a shitty situation.
I ain't say that.
And don't get me wrong, I love my guys, like Howie Bell and Spanky Hayes. I love them guys, man. Them guys are good guys. But you have to change your mind before you win anything. Like, to me, that's the same problem in Baltimore. They still got to change. They got to have to change it to have a winning mindset. You know who's gonna lose? Buffalo. Write it down.
Okay, we're gonna get to that part. We're gonna get to that part.
Right,
Dave, what's
Yes,
the
sir.
thought process now on obviously the Lions losing the offensive coordinator? Do you think the Lions are gonna turn things around and be able to get back to where they were this year, or you think?
I can't, I can't in good conscience sit here on this show and act as if I would be here if it was not for Rodney Perry, or I would not be here if it was not for Michael Sean, right? When I was trying to figure out this whole comedy thing, these are people who took me under their wing at different stages of my life. And I'm not going to go against what Rodney Perry said, but I want to double down on it. See, my favorite book in Romans 12:2 says, "Be ye not conformed to this world, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind." Ain't nothing new in Detroit, bro. That's the problem. That's the problem, right? No one's paying attention. It's been abandoned buildings and stuff broken down in Detroit for the past 22 years. There's a whole section in 8 Mile, the movie, that talks about this, but nobody pays attention. And I'm sorry. Am I the only person who realizes they're still the Detroit Lions? I don't care how good you've been. You're still the Detroit Lions. It's like the fact that the Washington Generals have beaten the Globetrotters 27 times in the past 133 years. That doesn't mean that you're a championship caliber team. It doesn't mean that you can turn a basketball into a bucket of water that turns into confetti. You don't have magical Globetrotter powers, sir. Calm that down. Now, moving forward, I think the Lions need to spend a little bit more time understanding who they are. Just like the Commanders have decided to identify as a football team, because for a while they were not transformational. So,
Here we go with that again.
Can you tie this whole Detroit thing into Motown?
Oh, absolutely. First of all, there's a young lady in 2008, Ricky Smiley and I discovered her. Her name was T-Baby, and she wrote a song that eventually went viral.
So cold in the D.
It's so cold in the D. How the heck you supposed to keep players? It's all on the fans' mind. You got blown out yet in the time.
See what you started, Rodney. See what you started.
R&B. It all goes back to R&B.
Wow.
It does. Let's take a look at Jaden Daniels, Mike Sean. Here's my prediction, and I want y'all to hold this down right now. If the Washington Commanders win, the NFL is going to do a major push. All he has to do is get to the Super Bowl. I think the NFL is going to do a major push to have this kid be the face of the league. He speaks properly. His rookie, he has the look, and everybody loves a great story for this kid right now. And all he got to do is get to the Super Bowl. And the crazy part is, Mike Sean, I literally think he has a shot. Not saying he can, but he has a great shot. What do you think? You think Jay Daniels could be the face of the league?
If he goes to the Super Bowl and it winds up that it's Patrick Mahomes, him, then you got Jalen Hurts, and so 3 out of the 4 quarterbacks are black. If he becomes the face of the NFL, they're gonna try and find a loophole to get more white quarterbacks in here. So chances are they're gonna start running credit checks on quarterbacks in order to be a quarterback in the NFL. They're gonna start running credit checks in college. So, and if you are under a 650, you cannot start in the NFL for the first 3 years while you're in the NFL. You can only play your 3rd year, because you can't tell me there's a large section of this country that is sick to death right now to seeing all these black men being the leaders of football teams and thriving incredibly. So will he be the face? I don't know. That's why I'm getting this funny feeling that Josh Allen is the last hope. Josh Allen is the hope.
And they're so glad about him.
And Josh Allen can do it though. Don't sleep with Josh Allen.
Let me tell you something. You want bipartisanship? All the white people, Democrat, Republicans, Asian, they don't give a damn. They're all rooting for Josh Allen to win the Super Bowl. They do not want to have. Now, I know they've inherited Patrick Mahomes. You know, they grabbed him because, you know, he got the white wife and everything like that. So they kind of inherited him. They're like, hey, until they saw his father and they were like, oh, he's really black. Oh, damn. He
is absolutely a nigger.
Yeah. So to answer your question, nah, I don't think so. I don't think he can be the face, even though he's the coolest man I've ever seen at that age. But I don't think he'll be the face.
Okay, Rodney Perry, do you think he could and would be the face if he gets to the Super Bowl?
He did one thing that fights against that. He wore a Doug Williams jersey to the game.
Oh,
you know, and so I don't know if y'all remember when the Redskins from back in the day, when they won their Super Bowl, Doug Williams was a quarterback from Grambling State University.
Yep.
And guess what he didn't do? He didn't say nothing about Disneyland when he won the game.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And I'll tell you this, I like Jaden Daniels. I think he's a great QB. I like you said that Frank, you know, he looks great. He's a great guy, great looking guy. He should be the guy that should be priming to be the next face of the league. But guess what? We still in America.
Mm-hmm.
Trump is the president as of today.
That's right.
Okay. Well, we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens.
And you know, you up there in Boston, you might think that black people got a chance, but they don't.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry.
Okay.
We shall overcome.
Dave, the business bully.
Yes, sir.
Jaden Daniels has the look. He's got that smile. He doesn't get rattled. He can speak properly. You know, he enunciates right. He does. He checks off all the boxes.
Oh, damn! Speaking properly.
Speaks properly. He speaks so well. See, you know it's bad when the high yellow Puerto Rican is looking at the high yellow Negro like, damn, did he just say that?
Speaks properly, like
he speaks so well.
Gronkowski can't speak properly.
And he never was the face of the league. Never was.
No, he just got a job on CBS.
Yeah,
right.
Which is still baffling me. But you already know why he did that. But Dave, answer this question: do you think Jaden Daniels can become the face of the league if he just gets to the Super Bowl?
Gets to no. Wins, yes.
Gets to okay.
Gets to no. Wins, yes. See, the thing of it is, too many people just want to get there. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, have you ever seen you seen Batman? You remember the one where the Joker was like, I don't make plans. It's like a dog with a car. I don't know what I do when I get there. That's too many people. I want to go to the Super. I don't want to go to the Super Bowl. I can buy a ticket and go to the Super Bowl if I want to waste some money. No, you want to win the Super Bowl. You want to dominate the league. That's the problem. And I'm with Uncle Roddy. You know, Donald Trump's going to change absolutely everything when it comes to how people move. And I think for those reasons, first of all, Josh Allen. Okay, his name is Josh. He's got a white uniform that has red and blue accents on it, right? He was born in 1996. That's only 20 years away from.
What color was the uniform? What color uniform?
White. That's HWHYITE. White. Mm-hmm. Yeah, no. So I'm telling you right now, man, it's a fait accompli. There's no way if there's a verifiable white man of who's going to make it. Oh yeah, it's going to happen.
Y'all gonna get me off TV before I even get on TV. Michael Sean, Let me ask you a question now, because I got to move on and talk about the Houston Texans versus the Kansas City Chiefs right now. I saw this thing this morning on First Take. I think I saw it on, I don't know where I saw it on. I saw it on TV this morning. I had it on everything. And the first thing they said about the game was everybody's complaining about the refereeing and everything else. Did you think that the refereeing of the game was an issue, or do you think it was played out fairly? He tapped the mic.
Sure this thing is on.
Hey, I'm not talking to y'all because we all friends and everything. Hey, dummies. Hey, stupid dummies. Of course, it was foul play. Stupid dummies. How long do people have to play in your face before, dog? How long? How many Snoop Dogg performances for Trump do you have to see before you realize that they're playing in our face every day? That's why I don't even take sports seriously anymore. I can't take people. Roger Goodell's an old school commissioner like David Stern. I protect the stars that bring the ratings. Taylor Swift had Caitlin Clark in the booth with her. She ain't never met that bitch. They don't know each other. They don't know each other. They put them right next to there. This is the ratings getter. This is the people that they have to. In order to beat Kansas City, you have to be up by 2 scores with less than 3 minutes left. That's the only way you can win. The refs are not going to. It's so blatant now. The entire season has been blatant. We've seen pass interference calls that the announcers that were covering the game got quiet when they reviewed it, and they were like, they don't know what to say. They don't know what to say anymore. People, they're going to do whatever they can to get them to the Super Bowl and win another Super Bowl. Tom Brady won a Super Bowl where a thing called the Tuck Rule was called. People, it was called once in NFL history. It was never called again.
Or before.
Never in history has that call been called. When Tom Brady fumbled the ball, they made up the call. They dug in the rule books, and they gave Tom Brady to the Super Bowl. Bill Belichick spied on people and recorded their practices. Do you know Sean Payton, being part of the Bounty Gate, got suspended for a year? Bill Belichick actually filmed people's practices and never got suspended for it. Dog, stop taking it so serious. They want who they want, and the only way that team doesn't get there is if you're beating them by 14 points with less than 2 minutes to go, and it ain't guaranteed then.
Now, to piggyback off of what he said, Rodney Perry, which was a very good soliloquy, there were 10 questionable calls. Not 1 or 2, you talk about my Patriots. The Patriots are known to have 1 or 2 questionable calls, per every couple of games. Patrick Mahomes is averaging 5 to 7. Against the Texans, they had 10 questionable calls, and 2 of them were horrible calls. But what's your thoughts?
Hey, man, don't bet on professional sports. Period. None of them. Football, baseball, basketball, soccer, tiddlywinks, the slap contest.
Ooh.
Don't bet on professional sports.
I'm wrestling.
He said the slap contest.
Let me tell you something. The fix is always in. And how about this? It don't take a lot of people to be involved for a conspiracy to work. It takes 1 or 2 guys. You ain't got to set up a one guy. And guess what he's doing? He's doing his job. Or he's inept and he's doing his job. Some guys are just inept and missed the call. And so people been saying this about the Chiefs for a few years, but then you got to ask yourself why. Follow the money. The money, follow the money. When the money makes sense, then crazy stuff happen. And so right now, Patrick Mahomes is our money guy. And I said this last week, if you let him hang around, he gonna beat you.
Yeah, you did say that, Rodney. You did say that. Dave, you said a couple of things too. So I'll let you get the floor and you can piggyback off what Rodney said. You did say a couple of things too to stand out, but go ahead.
Yeah, I have a question for you specifically, Frank, because I know the fellas know this. Do you know what I have here? Do you know what this is?
No, I do not.
No.
This is a replica from my good friend Ted DiBiase, formerly known as the $1 Million Man, right? Never won a championship ever, in a scripted sport, never won a championship. But he had his own title because he was just that prolific. The gag was, I have made more money in my career than the $1 Million Man made in his WWE Hall of Fame career. My point in saying that to you is it's all about the money. It's always been about the money. And I have sat on this show on and off for the better part of now going on 4 years. And I have said that the NFL, the NBA, the MLB, and the National Hockey League are just as rigged, if not more. The same way the WWE referees have pieces in their ears and small little teeny tiny body cams to keep the show where it needs to be. It's the same reason why you think they got all these different coaches on all these different refs on different lines to look at things from different angles so that nobody misses a call. Then, if you go back to when I was a teenager and I met a very young, very curly-haired Michael Sean, it was illegal to bet on games. Now we got DraftKings, we got all these sports books. So you've been taking the game away from the mob and giving it to the people. So to quote my good Uncle Rodney, never bet on professional sports. You want to know why? Because if you put in $5 and they're telling you they're going to give you $200 to bet, the house always wins.
Yeah.
And you know who they got in the house? Roger Goodell, because Roger Goodell has no power. He's about as real of a commissioner as this is an actual sports championship. His job is to make sure that the shareholders and the owners and the sponsors are all happy. You know how you do that, Frank?
You bring it home. It is. You bring it home.
Money.
You're bringing home. Michael Sean, talk about the game. The Texans did ball out, though. They were in the game. They played really, really, really well. To me, besides the calls, they had a chance. The chance was there. The window was there. Talk about the Texans. What's your take on the Texans and the Chiefs game?
All right, but beside and everything, I agree with everything everybody said about the NFL. Now, let me say this: you can't take away from Patrick Mahomes' greatness,
right?
And you can't take away from what Travis Kelce and that combination is able to do,
right?
Like these guys, unscripted, are better than most combos scripted, because half these receptions that they get is when Mahomes says, "I'm gonna just step to the right again, step to the right again," and it's like a line dance. Travis Kelce says, "Oh, you gonna step to the right? I'm gonna step to the right." Are you gonna step to the right? I'm stepping to the right. Oh, now I'm open. And it's amazing how they have this chemistry when you know he's the number one receiver on this team. I don't know how this guy still gets open. I don't. Maybe it's impossible to put two players on the tight end. Maybe it's impossible to double cover. Maybe there is no coverage where it would leave you too susceptible. I don't know how they do it. Andy Reid is going to go down as one of the greatest head coaches because Andy Reid did something that every wide receiver in this NFL who's a diva better recognize. Andy Reid said Tyreek Hill the hell on.
Yeah, he did.
Tyreek Hill wanted a gang of money, and Andy Reid said, I would like to have you, but you know what? I can win a
You're
Super
not
Bowl.
even my guy for real. You stretch the field, but you're not my guy.
You're not my guy. I can win a Super Bowl without you. I can win a Super Bowl without a Justin Jefferson. I can win a Super Bowl without an Odell Beckham in his prime. I can win Super Bowls with good receivers. And I know people say Patrick Mahomes. Yeah, Patrick Mahomes is great. But Andy Reid has formulated a system and a defense with his defensive coordinator. He's formulated a system where they pick you apart slowly but surely, and they win. And all you wide receivers better be careful because the same way the NFL shut down all that money the running backs were getting, they go position by position like every decade.
Yep.
And they go Stephon Diggs. Josh Allen had a better season after you left than when you were there. But to the point is, Kansas City's really nice. They're historically good. Like that quarterback and that tight end are historically good.
Yeah, he gave them their due. But to just talk about the game, what was your impression of the Texans though, Rodney? Like the Texans literally, to me, they, like I said to ask Michael Sean, they literally had a chance to win. They were in that game, you know what I mean? And they kept it competitive. You know what I mean?
I picked the Texans, bro. And they came, they showed up, but I said this last week, if you let them boys you can't bet against Patrick Mahomes. Just period. The dude is a winner. And he found a way to get it done. And so I think the Texans got a bright future. You know, they got a bright future. But how about this? You got to also look at the fact that the Texans also are still the Texans, right? So the Texans still, the same dudes that got all them receivers and sent them out of town is still running the show. So, you know, the same people that revamped the whole team that got mad at that old boy that went to Cleveland, Same guys are in charge, so they still stupid.
Wait.
You said they still stupid.
Yeah, they haven't got unstupid. So by virtue of that, I think the Texans, however they look, is still gonna be bad until they change the ownership.
Yeah, I think the Texans are gonna like. My man Stack has joined the conversation. Stack, thanks for joining the conversation. I appreciate you. I'm gonna come to you in a second. My man Dave.
Yes, sir.
Any impressive? Were you impressed at all by the Texans? I mean, anything? They leave any lasting impression on you at all?
I mean, I thought the Texans did phenomenally well. I'm ready to go out on a limb and say something I haven't said publicly. I do think that Jerry Jones has done a phenomenal job with the Dallas Cowboys marketing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like the Cowboys will always be America's team, but the Texans are starting to become Texas's team because people are like the Texans used to be the Clippers of Texas. Now they're the Clippers of Texas. You understand what I mean if you paid attention to what's happening with the Lakers. And that's just where I am with it. They have shown that they're viable. Couple little tweaks here and there, couple of good trades in the offseason, a little bit of shift in the front office, and I think we've got ourselves a phenomenal franchise moving forward in the next 5-10 years.
I think so too. Stack, what's your thoughts on the Texans?
Personally, I think D was spot on with that. Couple changes in the front office, they should be good. That offense is extremely explosive, and I was saying that from even before the season started. I said that there was going to be probably the young team that really takes the most steps forward this season. So the Texans, if they do make some tweaks, I don't know about the whole they're the team of Texas thing. That was the only part where I'm like, I don't know. I think the Cowboys, just the whole lore of the Cowboys, they're probably always going to just possess that because, the 90s nostalgia, it carries over to basketball too, right?
Too much history, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Like, Michael Jordan. I feel like if a player that was unarguably better than Michael Jordan ever comes along, they still wouldn't say he's the greatest player of all time just because something about that 90s era and the nostalgia that comes with it. I think the Cowboys are benefiting.
Zach, we're not going down. We're not going down
that
path.
Honest, think about it. The Cowboys haven't won anything in what? How long? 30-something years?
Yeah,
I'm 30.
I'm just saying,
the Cowboys ain't won nothing since I was single digits. And
I'm just saying that I don't want to go down the path of Jordan because that takes the conversation over. I get past my time. You do that all the time. You can do that all the time. You do it all the time.
When you start seeing the Cowboys getting taken off of primetime games, then you start. Then you'll start. People start. These young cats don't really mess with the Cowboys the way our
crazy.
Generation.
I know a lot of young cats that are Cowboys fans. That's the crazy. I'd be like, damn, like kids younger than me. I'm like, yo, how are you a Cowboys fan?
You're probably Mexican. They're probably Mexican.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
First of all,
Stack, rooting for the other team?
First of all, Stack
Mexicans
is at least
ride
55.
out. Mexicans ride out for the Cowboys. And I'm Puerto Rican. Mexicans ride. I lived in Texas for 9 years. Mexicans ride out for the Cowboys.
All right, so Mike, we got the teams just set for the AFC Championship, NFC Championship coming up this weekend. What's your thoughts on saying, you know what, this is what I expect this weekend, or do you expect the upset? Because my upset, I knew there was going to be an upset this past weekend. It just happened to be a different team. My upset game this past weekend, I literally thought the Eagles going to lose to the Rams, but we all saw the Lions losing. I think that was probably the biggest upset. So from the AFC, NFC, this upcoming weekend, is it going as planned in your mind at what, and what's the big upset if possible?
I think the upset is I can't predict the upset. I'm just gonna tell you where it could happen. It could happen with the Eagles and the Commanders because the NFL is gonna leave that game alone.
Mm-hmm.
They're not gonna be a part of it on purpose. Buffalo's gonna have a hell of a time trying to beat Kansas City in Kansas City, yo. Buffalo would be lucky if their helmets don't get hidden by the NFL. Like they're gonna have a hell of a time. They gonna have a hell that the play clock might start at 10. You just don't know. Like, and I would love to see Buffalo going, but I think the upset could happen with the Eagles. I think it's gonna be if you ask me without the NFL's inclusion, I would say the Eagles would play Buffalo. But I just find it hard to believe that the NFL at this moment, with the problems, they had a little dip in ratings in the opening wild card round. They had a little dip, and they got Kendrick halftime performance. It's got a little issues going on, a little Jay-Z thing, little drama going on. I think they want the sure thing. They want Patrick Mahomes there. They will have Taylor Swift and every famous white woman they can find under 30 next to her. They will put every famous white woman next to her that they can find. Everyone.
Okay, so what's your big pick, Rodney Perry? Like of this weekend coming, AFC, NFC, same thing as prediction going, or are we looking at Kansas City Eagles rematch, or you got a surprise? What's your thoughts?
What?
That is really Rodney.
You're muted. I think he's muted.
My fault, guys. My fault. And I really wanted to mute myself because I didn't want to be a part of this conversation.
Okay.
I mean, Buffalo is going to find a way to lose, but it might not be this game. That's going to be the big upset. If Buffalo find a way to beat Kansas City, they're going to lose the following week. They're not going to win the Super Bowl. So Buffalo is going to either lose now or lose later, and which was my favorite candy as a child. And
Yo,
and so
mute your mic, yo.
all right, I'm gonna go.
Wow. Okay, Dave, same question. What's your thoughts?
Yeah, Frank. So first of all, everybody's just gonna say that I'm gonna say, well, the Eagles just gonna run away with everything because I'm just such a diehard Eagles fan. I've been drinking, Kelly Green Kool-Aid since 1982, and nothing could be further from the truth. The Eagles are going to win, simply because it's great for business. Because people want to see that rematch. And if you think that Roger Goodell and all of those sponsors and all of those sports bets makers are going to risk the opportunity for 15.5 million Swifties to look at that pale-faced, skinny, no bad built bodied broad sitting in the stands going, you bugging. You want to know why? Because each one of them Swifties brings ratings. This is about ratings. It comes down to one thing and one thing only. So, needless to say, the Eagles will beat the Commanders. It will be a nail biter. It will be a close game. And Josh Allen, bro, it's just not your year, buddy. But you stay what?
Okay, there you go. There you go, Dave. There you go. Bring us home, Stack. What's your take? Everything that goes expected, or are we going to see upset?
I agree with the conspiracy theories that this is all about ratings, and the NFL is absolutely going to get the rematch on deck for this momentous Super Bowl in New Orleans with Kendrick Lamar and Taylor Swift in the building, Jay-Z behind the scenes. But, the football lover in me, we got a rookie quarterback that's put up some historic numbers. You talk about, if we're talking about ratings, we're talking about politics, NFL and the whole DEI thing and all that. To see another black quarterback, like a young black quarterback come in, Washington Redskins, like Doug Williams or Doug Johnson was his name back in the 80s.
Doug Williams.
Doug Williams, we could get that again, even though Doug Williams wasn't on the Redskins first, but still, like, this could be a repeat of that too now. So I don't think that Washington Redskins is a bad team to go to the Super Bowl against the Chiefs either. I don't think that's DC is a big city. Like, it's Chocolate City. I mean, they got an explosive QB. This kid dazzles. He is box office, just like Patrick Mahomes, just like Aaron Rodgers in his day. He's got the legs, he's got the arm to go with it. He's actually more entertaining to watch than Jalen Hurts.
So you went all the way around just to come up to the end.
I think the Commanders are going to beat Philly. That's what I'm saying. I think the Commanders are going to beat Philly.
You're trying to get to the point that
I think the NFL wants to see two explosive, exciting, big play. Because all right, other than Saquon getting handed the ball and running 76 yards, there's really nothing more exciting about the Eagles' offense. Whereas with the Commanders, you actually got a few different ways an explosive play can happen. So,
hey, I think you're overlooking the fact there's nothing more exciting than watching A.J. Brown read a book because he is so close to beating Jalen Hurts' ass. There is nothing more exciting than him flipping a book and having to read a chapter on how not to beat Jalen Hurts' ass.
Because Jalen Hurts can go 130 yards in the Super Bowl. Who wants to see that?
on TV. Michael Sean, tell us everybody out there what you got going on, how they can find you. Thank you for joining the show today because I know you're really, really busy. You on the radio now, Mike? You on the radio?
Yeah, you can catch me on the radio with Jonesy in the morning, 94.7 The Block in New York City. You can check the YouTube show out Tuesday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 9 a.m. Michael Sean and the Takeover Legends. Follow me on Instagram at Mike Sean Comedy.
Thank you for joining the show, Mike. I really greatly appreciate that. I know you got time. Rodney Perry, same thing. What you got? I know you're doing. Where are you? You at home in Atlanta or you traveling?
I just got back home, Baltimore, Maryland. We saw over 1,100 people this weekend. What a great weekend! Shouts out to the Baltimore Comedy Factory, man. Next up, Arlington, Texas. I'll be in Arlington not this weekend, but next weekend. Arlington, Texas, at the Arlington Improv. I'm super excited about that as well. And of course, the podcast. It's called Comedy and Crime. It's on the streets every Tuesday, new episode.
There it is. Looking forward to that. Obviously, it's a podcast. Looking forward to that. Actually, I saw a clip of that. I thought that was very interesting, man. Comedy Crime. I'm gonna have to call you about that. Really, really interesting. Dave, the business bully, take us home.
Yeah, see how quickly Frank Holder wants to light skin our situation because he don't want us to go to investigation discovery, Uncle Rodney. See how that go? Always trying to step in and light skin some stuff.
Me into that. That's a drag.
No, but no. In all seriousness, man, I'm super excited. Of course, you know, when it comes to me talking all things business, you can find me on all social media platforms at the Business Bully, and then of course when I'm doing all kinds of crazy off the wall non-sports stuff, that's over on I Never Knew TV, with the exception of Comedy and Crime, where I pop up every once in a while just to be the hemorrhoid on Rodney Perry's shitty behind. That's why he took 20 minutes in Detroit with the boo-boo. Rodney Perry is full shit.
Thank you for joining the show, Stack. Tell everybody out there how they can find you.
Y'all can find me on Instagram and X right now at Stackanova, giving my hottest takes on whatever I'm feeling at the moment. And currently based in Atlanta, Georgia, every Sunday you can catch me at Boom Boom Lagos on 3979 Beaufort Highway. I'll be hosting Championship Sunday. I'll be there from 7 till midnight. Come check me out. I play all kind of music. Y'all gonna have a good time. We got hookah. Rodney Perry might pull up with some cigars if you're lucky.
I might do that.
Might do that. I want to give a shout out to my producers behind the scenes, Kev Lane and White Chocolate. White Chocolate doesn't.
White Chocolate
in the building. White Chocolate in the building.
What up, White
Hey,
Chocolate?
all right, listen. Quickly, I have 3 things to say. Somebody said that Josh Allen is the great white hope. That makes him the Jerry Cooney of the NFL.
Wow.
Yeah.
Dave, that belt is dope. I love it.
Yeah.
And tomorrow, I'm changing my name to White Chocolate Hope.
White Chocolate Hope. You ain't got to change none of them monogram towels.
Whoa. White Chocolate Hope.
Don't worry, y'all. I'm gonna work on him. I'm gonna work on him.
Nah, I like it. White Chocolate
Hope. We get them t-shirts are getting printed right now.
That's why I said I'm gonna work on it, because he's gonna run to go print them. Thank you all for watching.
Guys, thank you.
Thank you guys for coming in and doing the show, taking out your time. I greatly appreciate it. Box Seats, the show comes on 5 to 6 every day on the Humor Mill TV channel, also on all social media platforms. See you guys tomorrow. We're going to talk about some of the stuff in the NBA, especially this big rumor about Draymond Green trying to go to the Lakers. We're going to talk about that. Can't wait to jump into that with you guys. See you guys tomorrow. Thanks, y'all. Peace. Take care.